Hi guys, how we doing? So, I did switch directions a little bit today. I just kind of need a break from the plaster ball. But, we did a lot of videos of that in a row, so it's kind of time to switch it back up and work on this a little bit more. So, please excuse the level of noise. All of the pets have decided that today is going to be a noisy kind of day. When you have as many pets as I do, you're going to have those days. And sometimes you just kind of have to accept it and work with it. So, we're going to be noisy today. I'm okay with it if you guys are. So, if you were wondering, we did start Hannah on a new medicine regimen. We're trying to see if we can get her feeling better. She's kind of hit a plateau and was kind of the same all the time. So we're trying something different. I do apologize. I never made it on yesterday. If you saw my short, I had a little mishap. Thankfully, I was able to act quickly enough that I'm down to just a very red, very bruised little spot. And I have a couple on my back as well. So, I'm back to wearing my watch on my right. I thought I was done with that, but that's alright. Trying to decide where this needs to go. I think what we're going to do before I do anything else is we're going to come in and patch a couple of these little spots. I had just a couple of places that cracked on me where I guess I just didn't get it shaped properly. You're going to have things like that happen. You can't really stress over it. And it's not really that hard to fix. You just got to fill in the holes and kind of go with it. And I did have another odd spot. I'm just trying to remember where it was. I guess that was it up there. And this one we're just going to come in and kind of tighten up the grip on the base a little bit. So, in case you're wondering, no, I am not any more against wasps than I was before. I still have my little friend that flies around in here. I did not know there was a nest in the area that I was working in, and I didn't realize that we startled them, so they were just defending their home. I do apologize if I sound a little bit funny. I am actually allergic to them. So I did have to take a pretty heavy dose of allergy medicine. So makes you a little out of it, but that's alright. There are worse things in the world, aren't there? Trying to decide which direction to go in here. I think get on there. Grip in. I can always shape you. But I need you to grip. There we go. And we want this to kind of curl up. So I really don't feel like going across this one with it. Sweetie Pie is just a whole thing today. If you hear him in the background, this has been all day long. Excuse me. Okay. I think we got the worst of the brakes fixed. And now we've got that little vine going up. So now, let's see what we're gonna do next. I think we're actually gonna create a new branch right here. There we go. I think how I ended up doing this before was actually like this. I could be wrong on that, but it felt... There we go. Trying to remember the tricks that I learned a year ago is kind of challenging. My goodness, sweetie pie. If you're wondering what he's hollering about, Calliope has decided she does not want to pay attention to him today. And he is just not having it. So he has been trying all day to get her to pay attention to him. And she just wants to watch TV. Which I think all of us can relate to that in one side or the other. It's pretty easy to I think I've been on both sides where I wanted the attention and where I wanted the just leave me alone, let me watch TV. Just depends on the day and the time. Sometimes she pesters the heck out of him, so it's fair game. So I'm not just forgetting about the ball, I just needed a break from it. I also really just did not want to get plaster, to have to clean plaster off of my still very sore wasp sting. So instead I picked this thing up and put it back on my table. There we go. So I think this guy's going to come up this way. Just kind of climb on up. He's not going to do anything too crazy. So we're probably not going to do a real long one today. Just simply, I still have a lot going. And I still don't feel 100% great. So I still have to give Hannah her afternoon medicines and try and settle the birds just a tiny bit at some point. And that's one, I talk about, the pros and cons of having a lot of pets. there's a lot of days where you don't really genuinely get a day off. And it's challenging because sometimes that's about all you want is a real day off. But you make your choices. And our choice was to have a whole house of pets. And most of the time, I do absolutely love it. Sometimes I do get a little overwhelmed. I'm not even going to pretend I don't. Like, yesterday was hard because one of those amazing, wonderful pets caused me to end up getting stung 3 times by... at least 3 times. We think I might have gotten 2 on my wrist, which is why it's so sore. But his shenanigans are kind of what got me stung in the first place. So, it happens. And you really can't hold an animal responsible. They don't necessarily understand cause and effect on a level that we do. He just thought it was a super fun game of catch me. And we know the rest of that story. So I am going to take a break from the vine, now that we've got his direction going pretty well. And I think it's time to do some more leaves, which is actually one of my favorite things, to be honest. And you guys can't even see me down there, can ya? There we go. It's kind of funny, I figured out how to do these leaves completely by accident. Everybody's got something to say out there today. Well, this guy doesn't want to cooperate, does he? That's all right. We'll argue with him. Yeah. There we go. Well, that's better. I just want to thicken him up a teeny tiny bit. He's awful shallow and we need him to stick up just a little bit so that when we do his vein, there's the word, vein, it pushes him in nicely. So I planted morning glories this year, and I seriously considered going through and redoing these into heart-shaped leaves. And then I realized how very much work that would be. And decided that, you know what? We're going to stay with our nice pretty oval leaves. And we're not going to redo every single leaf on this entire project. And the great thing with leaves is they don't have to be perfect. Because if you think about it, how often are leaves actually perfect? They usually have some flaws or some odd shapes or maybe a spot where an insect got to them. There we go. And I know it looks odd starting out, but once I get this guy painted, it's gonna seem so much better, I think. I hope. Would really be disappointing if it didn't come out awesome by the time I'm done with the amount of work I have actually already put into it. But we're going to keep going until it does fit my vision. And hopefully soon we will be primering the whole thing and putting it together and just making it into what I wanted so badly to have in my garden. So that's a bigger leaf than I meant to make, but that's all right. We can work with it. There we go. Sometimes a little persistence does pay off. There we go. And on to the next one. That came out really messy looking, but that's all right. It's amazing what a little shaping can do for it. There we go. See. We're not doing too bad on time, are we? So I'm probably going to do maybe one or two more leaves and then call it a day for today. Sorry, it's a little bit shorter than we've been doing, but as I said, I'm not 100%. And when you're already tired and a little bit achy and just kind of off kilter, sitting in a little wooden chair, bending and twisting, and that is quite a bit more than I needed there, wasn't it? It gets a little hard on the back. And as I said, I do still have to go do Hannah's medicine here in a little bit. We're hoping that this new medicine combination will be what's needed to get her back up and on her feet again. I hate seeing her not feeling good. She's an old lady, but she's not done yet. There we go. So I think we're going to do one more and then we're going to call it a day, just to even it out here. I do feel like we actually got a decent amount accomplished today, which does make me happy. And I think I'll probably get Hannah medicated, get my animals settled a little bit, and then maybe take a nap before I start dinner. Should never underestimate the power of a good nap. I think they're important. So there's where we sit for now. We did get a little bit more done. And we didn't run quite so long on time this time, which I'm sure you guys probably appreciate, because sometimes my videos can get a little bit on the long side. But I will be back on Monday. We'll try and get a few more things done. And until then, I will talk to you guys next time.